Set 2 is on Metalopolis. And we take a look at Garnet up at 12 o'clock. Red Protoss. Over at 3 o'clock is Czech with the Blue Zerg.
Check prime.
And I guess going back to what you're talking about in set number 1, maybe the knock on Garnet was that he lacked a little bit of creativity as to a second option. You talk about things that you want to change. Do you go with trusting, what you planned to do, or do you, have the ability to go with a second option? And that probably is indeed what separates a good player in this tournament compared to someone who's able to advance further.
Well, I'm more of a fan of having a plan A, but also having a plan B, C, maybe even a fourth option. I mean, you want to go with your original strategy, right? But you need to have fallback plans, like if I get scouted, if one unit dies that shouldn't die, or we spawn somewhat not favorable for me, right? And this was even a 2-player map, and you can see that he had practiced this strategy, only this strategy, and had no other alternative, right? And I mean, you're playing in a big tournament with a lot of money at stake, and I guess these guys, the only thing they do is playing StarCraft 2, right? I would spend my time practicing more than one strategy, for sure.
What? Money? There's a lot of money at stake? Is there money at stake in this tournament? Wow. All right, let's get back to the game here. Overlord headed straight to the 12 o'clock base of Garnet, so he is going to have a quick peek at exactly what is going on.
Czech is doing a very unusual opening, I think. Doing a pool before hatchery, getting gas, and still no sign of wanting to expand, actually.
So a little bit different.
I think this is very strange on Metalopolis, but I guess he might have thought that he fast expanded last game and that the Protoss was so dominated that he would try some kind of cheese, 1 gate, 1 forge, and would wanted to play safe this game, feeling that he's superior to this player. And if you feel confident against a player, why risk an opening that will definitely cause you a loss if the other guy does one strategy that you can't counter with that strategy, So he's doing a very safe opening, and I understand it totally. Just the way how game 1 went, how easily he won that game.
Certainly was an easy win for Czech, as you mentioned. I almost think, if I'm a player that's as established as, let's say, someone like Czech, I win the first set rather easily against Garnet. I would almost think, hey, I want to try something different. I want to try something that will wow the viewers, where I can make a name for myself, where people are going to remember, hey, I'm Czech.
Is he going to be the new Slayer's boxer or something like that?
I don't know if he's practiced some various neat things in the off time, but I really think that makes the difference between winning a game in the round of 64 compared to being the player that people cheer for in the round of 32. And I think it's important to be a fan favorite, because then when StarCraft 2 eventually does become bigger, rather than just a league where you're going to be on a team because of your win-loss record, you're going to be more popular. You're going to gain more sponsorship. You're going to gain more notoriety because you've come up with neat things on TV. And I think that's kind of the stuff. Slayer's Boxer did both. He was good and he did cool stuff.
Exactly.
But if you had one choice, every now and then coming up with something cool, I think it can be good too.
I totally agree with you, but you have to look at it from the player's viewpoint, right? He might not be that type of a person. Kind of what type of person you are in real life kind of reflects how you play the game. That's how I see it. And I'm guessing Czech is one typical Korean guy, lacks creativity but has a lot of mentality and dedication for the game, So he just want to win the games, how he sees fits like the best fit, and I totally respect that. But yeah, of course, everybody want to be a fan favorite if they can. It's not everybody that has that star power in them.
Warp Prism on the way here, and spotted by the Overlord, by the way. But Queen comes out, blocked off with a force field, And that's going to prevent those Zerglings. Takes down the Queen actually quite easily because the Zerglings couldn't come up to help out. And the attack is on. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Eventually, the Sentinel drops down as well.
It's again...
And
it was a neat trick. I mean, it was the force field cutting off the supply, but as we said, Czech wanted to play really safe this game. He didn't fast expand. He makes a ton of units. He knows that this is the way that he kind of read Garnet from the first game, that this guy was going to do some prepare one base all in play, and again he's right on the money. I mean, it was a perfect defense. He gained nothing by that run.
Czech loses an Overlord, and maybe Garnet was listening to what I was saying. Hey, I want to try something cool, even if I don't win. Although, see, the problem is, it's only cool if it leads you to victory. Exactly. If you do something cool and it doesn't work, it was just stupid.
Then you just look stupid, yeah.
Then you just become, you know, that guy. You never want to be that guy. The guy that did that.
You can see he's already trying to get an expansion now, but, I mean, at this stage, Czech is already having his expansion for a long time. So economically, he's way ahead, and he knows exactly the Nexus timing. He knows exactly how long time he has before the second Nexus starts kicking in, and he gets the economy boost. I mean, Czech has so many options right now. He can like opt for going for out expanding him. He can go for a timing attack right when the second Nexus is getting up. He can, yeah. There's so many things that Czech can do. He's total control of the game. He has no fear of getting attacked, and he knows exactly that he's one base up. And yeah, so it's going to be really tough for the Protoss. He needs to turn around with a big fight or just miss marker from Czech's side. And I don't think he will do that because he's just running around with a 10 surgeon. It really doesn't matter.
Czech expanding down to 6 o'clock, and also one thing he's doing that you like is that he's spreading his creep around, which we go back to the game before with Lenok, one thing that he wasn't doing.
It's typical, like what separates good players from great players often is those little things, and I mean the creep thing is not even a little thing, it's very important for the Zerg. It gives great mobility, it gives you vision, it gives you so many advantages in battle and just for scouting purposes, so I don't see the reason why you shouldn't do it actually. So it kind of like made me feel that guy was not a good player, but he won, so good for him.
He did manage to win, and one more Zerg player advanced to the round of 32 makes you happy, I know. And we'll see what goes down here. And it looked like...
and I don't understand, he could even see this Sea-Lot morphing from whatever it's called, Changeling. And he decided not to. He actually saw that with his units. It was in the vision of the. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. He's thinking about the attack, backed up a bit.
I think the stage sometimes gets to the players. They get a little extra nervous, and they're not that observant as they are when they're playing.
And look at this mutilous harassment here by Czech. And perhaps also when you're playing someone that is a big name compared to someone else. So both players attacking, mutilous harassment going on at the base here of Garnet. Meanwhile, Garnet attacking Czech at his expansion base. Zerglings all the way here. Roach is taking out the expansion, but at the same time, Czech's base under attack as well. Who's going to do more damage? And the expansion nexus goes down, so does almost every other building is under compromise here for Garnet. Garnet has just got way too many units to deal with. He's going to have to sacrifice his entire base. Might have like an elimination match going on here to see who can take out whose buildings first. The one thing I don't think Garnet knows about the 6 o'clock base of Czech.
And the 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock.
And just too much to deal with. And if this does go to an elimination match, then I think Garnet is going to be in for a big surprise as all of his buildings being taken down. He's going to be left with nothing. He's trying to plant pylons all over the place, but his entire tech tree is gone. I don't even know if he has a probe left.
No, he only has those 4 pylons and a simulator.
And this is going to be GG. And that is going to be it. So Garnet takes out Prime's main base, but as that is going to end the game, check Prime with a couple of good games here. This one, look at him, very nonchalant, as if he was expected to win, but that is the sign of a pro. As just a great game, just played it perfectly. As you mentioned, not exactly the most creative win, but certainly a win that was expected from him. Certainly one that he executed exactly the way that it needed to be done in order to win. That's what he does. That's what he did this time.
Yeah, he played it the safest way possible, so he could not lose to any kind of early game chase, and he just knew that he was a better player and play from that notion, and it worked. I mean, there was like no point in that game where I felt like Czech was going to lose.
Well, certainly a good game that it was for Czech. Like I said, he looked like he knew that he was going to win throughout the entire game, and we're going to have a talk with him in a moment to find out if that indeed was the case. Of course, we're taking your questions to ask Czech as well, as that wraps up our 5 games for today. But quickly, an interview with Czech as well to go and respond as to what happened in the game. All right, let's come back with our interview in a sec. Okay. Actually, let's quickly recap first before we get to our interviews, as it was Gilja who was a 2-1 winner over Jukto Jung. Also, Korjung, 2-1 winner against Bless. Bless, by the way, is also known as Lin in the Warcraft 3 world. Also a 2-1 winner. Terius went on to defeat Polt Prime. It was Linok, a 2-0 win over Legal Mind and Czech. You just saw with a back-to-back 2-0 victory against next Garnet. So those are your winners. Czech, Linok, Terius, Korjung, and Gilja advancing on to the round of 32. Congratulations to them, all good winners. Let's get a quick look at our games for tomorrow. It is Nesty who is going to be up against Kang Ji-young Fo. Also, Pak Jong-hyuk is going to be up against Next Chief. E.G. Idra is going to be up against Chicken Combo. Of course, that is Idra, who was commentating with me in our first 2 games of this evening. Also, Rex Zandark is going to be up against OGS Gone. As for our afternoon schedule, Sound Wera up against I Am MVP. It is Jack G. Wera up against OGS Zenio. Cargo up against OGS Nada. Over the Zero is against OGS MC. And Love Rip Wera is up against OGS The Wind. An awful lot of OGS players in this tournament, and we're going to see a lot of them tomorrow. Actually, I'm not going to be here for this, unfortunately, but you'll be back, certainly, and you'll be back along with Greg as well. Of course, he's going to be playing and commentating at the same time. This is going to be pretty magical.
It's going to be fun to see. I hope it's going to be good.
Well, certainly, I've got to thank you as well as Greg for your help. I certainly would not have been able to do it without you guys, so thank you very much. Of course, we're also going to get to an interview in a moment with Czech, looking back on his 5th game. So once again, if you do have questions that you would like to ask Czech, please do post them up on our message board as we're going to take a look. But meanwhile, for this game, we are complete. Let's come back after these messages.